Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder matcher on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1, also known as the Blue Team in the Northwest, ending with Team 2, also known as the Red Team in the Southeast. Starting off with Team 1's Eastern player, then working our way west and then south, we have in Stitch Blue, Team 1's the Doctor. He is a Cybran for this match as a 1304 rated. To his west in Royal Blue is the UEF player of Taffy. He is a 1785 rated player. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and the highest rated overall. And next door to him, to the south, we have Excited with 2 X's. He is playing as a Cybran in Amethyst Purple at a 1761 rating. So over Team Blue or Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 Cybrans, 1 UEF, no Aeon, no Seraphim for Team 1. Starting off here with Team 2's Southwestern player, they're working away counterclockwise. We have in Ruby Red, Team 2's Carl. He is a Cybran for this match as a 1580 rated. To his east, we have in Chevy Crimson, Sailor Moon as a UEF as a 1673 rated. He is the highest rated player on Team 2 in Chevy Crimson. And last but not least for Team 2 in Orange to Color Orange, blending in with this environment quite nicely, it is Glum. He is a UEF for this match as a 1616 rated. So for Team 2 side of the map, they also only have UEF and Cybrans. The difference between both of these teams is Team 1 has 2 Cybrans and 1 UEF. Team 2 has 2 UEF and 1 Cybran. So we'll see a little bit more monkeys from Team 1 and maybe a little bit of Fat Boys from Team 2. Which means for the entirety of this match, there are no Aeon players and no Seraphim players. Apologies to those loyal to the princess and those who love to make grand entrances but arrive late. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players on the map, particular coverage reclaim, they have to scoop up, currently sitting at 19,000 mass in reclaim, which means it is a little bit over 3,000 mass per player to scoop up. And of course, the one big feature on this map was kind of the lack of features, being the only avenue for land in this game, bar transports or teleportation, is just this direct route down the middle. We already see that Excited is being 2v1'd here by Glum and Carl. And of course, they're going after the reclaim on Team 1 side of the map. And Excited has already dropped into the yellow, so he has to be very careful if he wants to stay here any longer, because he could easily be the first player eliminated this early in the game. And in terms of mexes, we'll take a look at Team 2 side of the map here briefly. There is a 5-star mex position over here and another 5-star mex position on this eastern side. There's a Trimex position over here to the west. And not really much else. Of course, like I said, the main feature of this map is the pretty much lack of map. And you have this huge northeastern corner and southwestern corner just devoid of the everything. Maybe, no, you really can't land any forces up here in terms of engineers to put, maybe some intel gathering installations or something. It'd be better off to put it essentially here. So I expect to see a lot of AA littering around this huge mountain range clump, and just expect to see pretty much most of the action taking place along this middle stretch. Essentially, this is ARAM to the max, except without the random. We do see that Carl's now being pushed back by Excited forces and Taffy inbound from the west. We do see that the Doctor is moving in from the north, so all the players for Team 2 and Team 1 in the middle of the map. We do see a little bit of pushback. Units have been dropped off by Carl, of course, using transport to get around the lack of land, to be able to try to poke at the backside of Team 1's forces and infrastructure. But unfortunately, units have intercepted those. Maybe 1 or 2 matches will make it out to do a little bit of damage, but I highly doubt they'll get that much work done. Maybe the engineers will be the casualties of that engagement, but nothing that Team 1 can't recover from. We do see still Carl has now dropped into the red, sub 1,500 hit points. We could see a possible murder-suicide situation with Taffy sitting at 6,000 hit points. Carl is going to be the first out of this game. One more shot inbound from the Doctor, and he will claim first blood. Sailor Moon coming in to do his best to assist, going after one of these players. Taffy, who of course would be the main target due to the fact that he is the lowest on hit points in terms of the count. But he is sitting at 1-star veterancy due to that kill earlier, so it's just going to be a little bit of a tricky situation for Team 2. The only, of course, not betterment, but the upside for Team 2 is the thing that I've been pointing out the entire game so far is that there's really well, actually, I went -1, apologies. There's only one avenue of attack for land, and that's in the middle, which means microing forces is actually a lot easier and a lot harder in the sense that you don't want to leave the middle of the map for pretty much any reason. Sailor Moon, of course, and Team 2's Glum have taken the middle, which is not really the best option in the sense of trying to box in your opponent. Team 1 can come at them from essentially the 12 o'clock position to the 9 o'clock position, while Team 2 can attack, of course, the opposite way, but it'd be better if it was the opposite. Essentially, they would be the ones boxing them in. Essentially, the angle of attack from Team 1 is quite grand, while Team 2 doesn't have that much available to them. But we'll see how this plays out. We do see Team 1's comms stacking up over here, going for a little bit of reclaim, pulling back a little bit. Taffy, of course, has dropped, but he's getting back up into the mid-yellows now. Team 2 has now grabbed this middle position quite nicely. Would like to see a little bit more PD, at least on that side. The middle's perfectly fine, especially with that PD placement, covering almost the entire vector, but would like to see it more of a widespread coverage. Units try to walk on by, and they do get shot at by the forces standing guard by Excited, and he'll call them in to intercept, so that's not really going to go anywhere from Glum. It was a nice attempt, but unfortunately it's just not enough. Those forces have to fall back, and we do see a similar attempt on this eastern side, seeing if Taffy is paying attention. Actually, that's the Doctor's forces, and he is, so unfortunately for that group of strikers, they will be wiped out as well. T2 coming on the way here for Sailor Moon, and he'll probably start to tank up as fast as possible, if I can speak correctly. We need to eco play defensively, says Carl. That is definitely the just situation that Team 2 finds themselves in with one player down. They've lost 33% of their players, and not even the first 10 minutes of the match. Team 1 sitting at about a little bit more, keeps going back and forth. We'll create Team 1 a little bit more mass than Team 2, but again, the numbers keep changing every so often. Air is going to be very important in this game, especially because there's so much territory that cannot be guarded effectively, which means bombing runs are very, very encouraged, would be the rough word that I would use there. It's an opportunity, and they're not necessarily encouraged by any means. Missile outbound from Sailor Moon's position in the middle of the map, spamming out missiles as fast as possible, going after T2 mexes. At least that's what I would go for if I was him. But it does look like a nice little zappers online. More of them coming online all the time, so unfortunately that was denied. Missiles not going northward. No TMD over here, which means that is going to be a nice strike on that T2 mex. There it goes. Takes out that one. 6 mass a second is now gone from Team 1 Scoffers. Team 2 now getting a little bit further up in the eco situation at 290. And we do see counter missiles in the form of these Vipers coming in. Very annoying T2 missile launcher nonsense, because those missiles can still split and do some damage. Not as much, of course, as the actual solid missile, but you can see they're spammed up very, very quickly. The TMD for the UEF, not great. And those TMLs, as well as those engineers, are not really feeling good. Oh, that missile launcher is going to fire probably one more missile, and that might be the end of its career there. T3 Air coming online here. Yep, it is already online for Taffy in the Northwest. Team 2, do you have T3 Air? About to. And it's going to be a little bit behind. We'll see if Team 1 goes for first bomber. I highly doubt it, because we just don't. Oh, no. I will scratch that. Team 1 does have a bomber over here. Just depends if Team 2 notices it in time and it tries to intercept it. Gun started here for Excited. He has Nano on board, so making sure he's protected just in case he gets swarmed by Team 2's forces. Unfortunately for Team 2, their middle position has essentially been wiped out, bar a couple of TMD. Bomber is inbound. Actually not going for that position, continuing on southward. Looks like it missed its target or something. Didn't actually drop a payload. We'll take out a T2 mex over there. ASF's providing some nice screening for a couple of interceptors from Team 2. Nothing really deadly from Team 2. Another T2 mex is going to go down, so that's 9 plus 6, 15 mass a second. T3 Pigeon about to be built. Another T2 mex taken offline. It's another 9 mass per second. And another T2 mex going to get taken offline. T1 bomber, sorry, T3 bomber at 1-star veterancy. Another bomber going to take out another 9 per second. Great grab. There is a Cougar running around. Bomber is low on hit points, but it's going to survive at least maybe one more bombing run attempt. It will get shot down, takes out some engineers, and another T2 mech single ringed. So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mexes. 3 of them, I think, were single ring. So 9 times 3, 27 plus 18. Let's call it 45 mass per second. I think that actually is the amount. That's a nice blow to Team 2's eco. And you can see that is pretty much the discrepancy between the ecos, at least without the possible power consumption, I'm assuming, issue. Oh, no, that's the generated eco. So you can see that is the main driver for why Team 2 is so far behind in eco. 15 minutes. Now we see a nice little broadsword running around. A new problem for Team 2 to solve. Unfortunately, that gunship probably not going to get as much value done as the bomber that came in over the top, especially with some Cougars running around. Team 2 was prepared for it. As we see the Titans pushing in, you see a couple of Loyalists coming in with those EMP weapons, but those Titans are trying to stay far away from those units as possible, not wanting to be imped themselves. Another gunship inbound. Again, we'll take out one Titan. Now we see counter missile launchers as well for Sailor Moon trying to fight back against Team 1's spam of Vipers. The Titans are going to be very, very useful for this, just wiping them out as quick as possible. I just don't see this really going anywhere long term. Of course, yeah, they're doing damage in terms of T2 units and T1 units and T3 units and whatnot. The bomber was very, very good here from Team 1's Taffy. And that will definitely set the stage for a nice little mid to late. It's a late-ish game. Air supremacy, at least for a little bit. But of course, Team 2 is expanding their air grid. Actually, not as fast as I thought they would. Maybe they'll build one right here, but I'm kind of surprised not to see that yet. Lots of T3 land facilities now online, pumping out some Perseus and some Spearheads, so trying to counteract the missile nonsense with even more missile nonsense. Cougars, of course, placed in the middle of the map to protect against any sort of air raids. There's another gunship inbound. I just don't think sending in one gunship is really worth it. You see those Cougars just wipe out all those hummingbirds. And once they come into range of that bomber, that's really it for that guy. So he has to stay very far away from those rapid-fire nonsense Cougars. And of course, Titans keeping Team 1 at bay quite nicely. It's not a large avenue of attack in terms of land. It's really easy to essentially fly back and, or sorry, run back and forth. You could fly back and forth if you're a gunship or ASF or whatever, but more importantly, we do see that the Titans are coming inbound here from Glum, pushing in. And we do see the comm of Excited. Unfortunately, he has gun and nano, which means those Titans are not really well equipped to deal with that. We did see some Perseus being built here shortly from Team 2, and yet we do see a couple of them coming online. So once they are in range, that's not going to be good for the comm cells from Excited, but he's doing a very good job of keeping his comm on the front line, so just kind of acting as nice little buffer while his forces move left or move right or whatever the case may be. We do see that one comm is hiding underneath the shield. Definitely a good idea there from Taffy, and another one from the Doctor. Don't recommend standing next to a P-Gen, but at least it's underneath his shield, which is better than nothing. Echoing, says Carl, and yes, he is doing that. Lots of T3 mixes online for Excited, but the mass totals, I mean, they are starting to favor Team 2. It just goes down to the fact that long-term, having more mass in fewer hands means that the efficiency is a little bit better. You can get more T3 mexes. You can get more, ringing of, especially dual ringing mexes and mass fabs, RASCOMs, whatever the case may be, a lot quicker because you have just more mass available. You can scale faster. Team 1 jumps to 700, though. Is that power? That must have been power related when I made a comment about it. Yeah, it looks like that was power related. So Team 1 has scaled quite quickly. I was going to say, with all those T3 mexes, it looked a little bit weird, but nope, that is the exact number. So Team 2 is still behind, so completely forget what I just said in terms of Team 2 being ahead, or at least they are catching up, but that is a huge discrepancy that they're going to have to deal with. It just determines on how much APM they're spending on ecoing versus battling. Lots of PD going to be built to, again, try to be more standoffish in Team 1's defense. Let Team 2 attack them. Let them do all the damage to themselves and then come in and scoop up the reclaim. Definitely a nice strategy there. The only downside is that the less you attack, the more you're not aware of what's going on. The more you're not aware of what's going on, the more nasty things could be building in the back. You just have to keep essentially constantly getting intel runs in just to see what's going on. We do see, of course, lots of the spearheads stacking up and Titans escorting them. Percy standing very much in the middle of the lineup, making sure nothing gets past them. We are seeing the amount of units start to dwindle here for Team 1. It could be a little bit dangerous if they don't continue to build forces. We could see maybe a Monkey Lord started somewhere. T3 Pigeons in a formation for possibly an artillery piece or just air facility could also be the case there, but usually that's a artillery piece. In a 3v3 ladder like this, I mean, artillery could be useful. It just depends on land. If the land stays as it is, then yeah, T3 artillery would be nice. The only issue is being that close, the essentially zone where it's not effective or can't even be used is pretty wide, especially in a map like this where I can't even zoom out all the way to see the edges on the north and the south side of the screen. So it just could be a little bit dicey, especially if you want to take out any sort of closer facilities. More missiles, of course, going after the TMD and the PD. And we do see them being taken offline. I do like the engineers coming in and reclaiming the the mass. That way the mass spent, at least some of it goes back into the hands of Team 1. Team 2, of course, still down about 200 mass per second. But, again, they're starting to lead the land game. And, yeah, focusing on eco has helped Team 1 scale quite nicely. The problem is they just don't have a lot of units online. They need to get more facilities and more stuff cooking. We do see a Monkey Lord now started for Team 1. I mean, it's a Cybrid Monkey Lord. It's cheap. I expected to see it sooner rather than later kind of thing. But the missiles coming in being very effective at dealing with all the PD before any sort of other land units come into range. There's, one or two zappers online, but nothing really to deter the spam that is the spearheads. We do see some bricks moving into the north. But the Perseus are going to continue to just barrel on forward. Titans moving in. The shield set Perseus of some just early fire. But all those PD are now gone. And the bricks have to be very careful. Same with the Perseus of just being outnumbered very easily, or essentially being cornered. We are seeing T2 artillery land from somewhere. It looks like from over here, some Gunther batteries being built to deter the incoming land forces, and that has kind of shooed Glum away, at least for a little bit. There's still some units over here from Excited that he's stacked up. But this is a large force for Team 2's Glum. He just has to be very careful to not keep it in range of the artillery for long, because that's a lot of AoE damage that can be done. And that's the range on the artillery, so they need to get a little bit further back to really be out of effective range or range at all. But once they get inside the yellow, the secondary circle, not effective anymore. Looks like the battle is shifting northward. All these forces continuing to just try to dive into Team 1's territory. Another artillery piece coming online. And this is where it just goes to show that sitting in this kill box, not a great idea. Because you have artillery striking from the north, artillery striking from the west. We could see artillery striking from the northwest. And especially with the Monkey Lord coming online, it's just a canyon of death at that point. You got to just be very careful how long they sit there and how close Team 1 gets to boxing them in. Because the counter to that really is just to back up and do the exact same thing. So Team 1 has to walk into that kill box. You see a couple of Perseus again get outnumbered. A Monkey Lord will be spotted, at least maybe. We'll see if Glum or Sailor Moon's paying attention, or even Carl, who's beyond the grave, sees the secondary weapons fire from the Monkey that will maybe give it away. The Monkey does have a little bit of radar. Oh, no, they can see it. That's because the Omni is online, but they just don't know what it is. Spy plane will barely miss it. That's very unfortunate. And Team 2 is now just being bombarded by artillery fire. It's just not great for them in this position. They need to either push in deeply or just fall back. Those are really those two options. Team 1 sitting at 1.1k. Team 2 at almost 900. So while Excited and the Doctor are just being essentially stop gaps for Team 2. Team 1's Taffy pumping out Eco as well. Same with Excited. And to be fair, the Doctor as well. A lot of their focus has been on Eco just because they haven't had to micro a lot of forces here in the middle of the map. They can kind of keep Team 2 at bay with some PD, artillery, just a couple of T3 units, nothing too crazy. Team 2, you got to be building something spicy in the background. A FAF would be very, very useful, so start poking and prodding at all the shield emplacements. I don't see anything like that coming online as of yet. Sailor Moon is sitting at 500 mass per second. So he's producing the most mass per individual player, but total, of course, Team 1 is still winning. Artillery's still raining in and just wreaking havoc on all these bricks and all these Percys, just standing still. Sailor Moon building his own Clink Hammers as well, at least his own T2 artillery. But again, that just means that there's going to be a dead zone in the middle of the map, which favors Team 2 a tiny bit because there are mexes offline, but not by much. 60% says Carl. That fat boy, I mean, it's almost going to tick into the 75% range here shortly. Once that comes online, this base here for Team 2 is not going to feel good, but Team 2 is building a counter to it with the artillery, so it's going to be a matter of time. But look at all of the dead units here. You can see another one there, another one there, another one there. Just so many units taken offline just from passive T2 artillery. And there's now a second Monkey Lord here for Excited. And he could use that to push in. Of course, the danger is the further he pushes in, the longer it would take to get the mass back. He really wants Team 2 to engage. And the best way to counter that would be to just not engage. But then you, of course, do the whole rock, paper, scissors thing where if you don't engage, then Team 1's going to build more mass, build more artillery, area set, whatever. Team 2 has to counter that with something of theirs. Then it's just kind of maybe more AA, which means Team 1 might invade with land. It's just kind of this whole, you know, that I eat because I'm sad because I'm fat because I eat, and just this vicious cycle kind of thing. And now we see T2 artillery striking back at the Monkey Lords, and the other T3 units standing guard. That's the range, so they can barely hit a couple of those bricks. But, you know, a little bit of damage is better than nothing. I'm just going to just slowly eat away. One of the reasons I picked this map is because it's, or this match in general, is because it's a different kind of map. You can't play this game the same way that you play pretty much just an open map. You have to be very specific about where you place your stuff. Do you engage? Do you not engage? Because you only have one avenue for land, bar, you know, transports, which we did see very briefly. But both Team 1 and Team 2 are building AA along the edges. They know that's an opportunity not only for air but also for land units to come in. So they know that they have to guard it. It's just kind of a, you just have to do it, bar anything else. Glom builds an experimental. He's UEF, and he built a satellite silly. Now that's standoffish. He's like, well, I can sit back, sit on my little Xbox 360 controller and just control a little drone or whatever from the other side of the world. But you see a fat boy under construction for Sailor Moon. He's getting an SMD online and loading it pretty quickly, which strikes me not necessarily odd, but is Team 1 building a nuke somewhere? No. Oh, well, they are starting to build a nuke here. I don't know if Team 2 has spotted it. No, they don't know it's there, especially that scatter shield being there. It's kind of hard to see. Artillery has been spotted, though. And yes, he is building it where I thought he was building it. Looks like he actually... No, he built it a little bit away. This was going to be a different spot, I guess, for something else. But looks like some pigeons are down. Needs to build... sorry, shields are down because the pigeons are low. Needs to build more pigeons there. So 30 minutes on the clock here. Team 2 has lost the only player of the game being Carl very early in the match. Team 1 has nobody that has been killed. So it is a 3v2 game. Team 1 and Team 2 have now roughly equalized in the eco situation. So Team 2 has done a lot of legwork of catching up. Team 2 has, I think, a tiny bit more map control, about probably 51% to 49%. But, of course, that satellite over there is going to cause a little bit of havoc for the background eco for Team 1. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, because why not at this point, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. That satellite is definitely going to be annoying for a lot of players on Team 1. But, I mean, with 2 UEF in a game like this where land is kind of, well, landlocked, you kind of have to go standoff tactics. Team 1 has done that with their artillery. Team 2 has done that with their satellites. I am kind of surprised to not see maybe Taffy go for his own satellites at this point. We do, of course, see him building his nuke, which is almost done, and he's built a decent amount of shields to protect it. Definitely needs a little bit more, but it is almost done. One satellite isn't going to be enough to really do devastating amounts of damage. We have lots of spy planes stacked up, so Team 1 can get a readout what Team 2 is doing. Do they have XP besides SAT? Not seeing any, says Taffy. Well, Team 2 does have a Fat Boy, and they will soon have another satellite that has now been deployed. And we're seeing another one be built, and interesting enough, Glum, not putting all of his eggs in one basket, has decided to go a more spread out approach, which is good and not good. It's good because artillery is going to be very annoying to deal with that, because you have to, sight one in, and then you destroy one, you have to sight another one in, instead of here's one location, I just click and then I hope that it gets taken out. The downside, of course, is that you have to put a lot more investment in shield. You have to stack more and more shields. So it just depends on how much effort Glum puts into protecting all of his investment. Well, he's put 2 here. He's put 1 here. Let's assume he's going to put 0 here and then -1 here, since he's going 3, essentially 2, 1, 0, -1. I don't think you can put a negative shield down. I don't know what that would even look like. Maybe it'd be you can't shoot out, but they can shoot in. That'd be a negative shield, maybe. We do see the Monkeyloids have kind of fallen back a tiny bit, but not by much. There's now a crab stacked up here for the Doctor and a Fat Boy in the middle. So Team 1 has experimentals available to them. They're just not deploying them. Team 2 has 1 Fat Boy, soon to be a crab in a little bit. Lots of engineers and some spearheads having some fun, telling some stories about some SMDs that missed their targets and caused some nonsense to happen. But now the game is really slowed down. Team 2, of course, a little bit more on the ball in terms of offensive capabilities with that. But that artillery piece is almost done. And by almost done, I mean done. I was waiting for the thing to be actually finished. Glum finishes another experimental. So that's number 3 of the satellite. No, he does build another shield. So we'll see how much investment he puts in the last one. Maybe he'll put 2 shields down. Who knows? Maybe he builds the shield second, which it looks like he did. I don't really recommend that. I recommend the shield first, but that's just me. It looks like the artillery is going after the air grid for Team 2, who's building their own artillery piece as we speak for Sailor Moon, who's building a secondary air grid. That's definitely a good idea, especially with the first one. Ooh, that one does not feel good. Looks like maybe Team 1 knows about it. Oh, Team 1 knows about it and definitely does not want anything to come about with that. And the artillery has been denied by Team 1's disruptor. But again, with 3, soon to be 4 satellites, that is a decent amount of power to have in the satellite department. 2 of them overhead, of course, isn't enough, really. We do see the nuke has been taken offline. Satellite has been built a little bit over halfway, though, so that is going somewhere here for Team 1's Taffy. Looks like they're going to go for a new target, most likely. Looks like they're going after the grid up here to the north. Another set of P-gens for Team 1's the Doctor. Lots of shields have stacked up here, so it's going to be very difficult for 3 shields to pierce through. We could see a situation where the land gets involved at some point with another experimental on for Team 2. It's just going to be breaking the dam at this point. Either Team 1 engages Team 2 or Team 2 engages Team 1. My recommendation would be, I mean, it just depends on how much damage Team 1 can do to Team 2. If they can break through with what they have now, then it would be, I wouldn't say game over, but it definitely would favor Team 1. The unfortunate thing is the longer this goes on, Team 2 is going to keep stacking crabs, especially with a new one almost done. And it could just be that Team 2 just engages it and just be done with it with, 3, 4, 5 crabs. That's a critical amount of mass of crabs. Team 1 has to be very careful how how long they sit there, because they have roughly the advantage for now. That's only going to last for so long, especially with that another crab now online. Fourth satellite about to come online as well, and a fifth one as well. So Glum is just spending all of his mass on our experimental drone laser nonsense. We see another disruptor has been started in a different location. So again, that same downside but benefit where you have to build a whole nother set of P-Gen, shields, all that stuff. But it's harder for artillery to take out multiple targets in a essentially single point of a button. We do see satellites have taken out the power grid here for the Doctor. He's probably getting a little bit of power from his teammates, but he is starting to lose power, so that's not great for him. Shields are being upgraded as we speak, but I don't think that's really going to go anywhere at this point. And he's probably going to lose it here very shortly, and this gets another influx of... he's starting to fix it a little bit, so they'll stay online just barely. But that shield is offline. More shields being built, of course, as just as fast as they can be. And more shields up there. Looks like missile strike inbound going for Taffy's commander. Oh, Taffy gets out of range at the last second. That was very, very close. Lots of... Where did those missiles come? Oh, they came from right here. Look at that. Look at that array of missiles. Look at that thing. They are ready to party down there. Another group of missiles is outbound. The TMD just was not strong enough. And Team 1's Monkey is the target? No, it's going to go further north. And the Doctor has been defeated by Glum by the satellites. Missiles going after the artillery piece. They don't take it out, but the shields are down quite a bit to where the artillery could get taken out by the satellites. Oh, and Taffy has now been targeted, so that's not great here for him. Team 2 is going to say, well, we're just going to target... ooh, that was close. 4,300 hit points. He's going to build more shielding, but there's only really one shielding covering him. That shield's going to fall offline. Right now, 2,000, 1,000 hit points. He needs to move a little bit over to his right. He barely makes it with less than 50 hit points, and he's taken out anyways. Ooh, that's rough. So Team 1 loses another player here, 38 minutes. The first one was by satellites. The second was by satellites. The third one might be by satellites for that trifecta. Artillery striking at the dual satellite positions over here. We do see a nice little situation where there's T2 shields for this one, T3 shields with T2 shields flanking these two. That way it's kind of a nice little personal shield for each, plus an overarching shield for both. And it kind of creates a nice little insulation, essentially. The attack has commenced on the land side of things. It was only a matter of time. Team 1 held back a little bit too long, and now 4 crabs are on station, soon to be 5. Look at this just array of units moving in. Team 2 is going to try to steamroll Team 1 as much as possible. These satellites did take out... No, they didn't take out the artillery piece. Looks like they're going after the comm. They're just going to go for assassinations at this point. I mean, I guess with one kill, that is the game. So you make 4 satellites and right-click ACUs. It's what this map asked for. I mean, I don't know about that, but another missile volley is inbound. Bricks coming in from the north. This is going to be a nice little host of problems for Team 2. Missiles are getting blitzed down, but there are some residual missiles inbound going after SMDs, which they do take out that SMD. That makes me think there's a nuke somewhere. 2 satellites online for Excited, so he even got into the satellite tech. Maybe they just want to take out the SMD to scare Team 1, maybe. Oh, that... Why is it there? First of all, why put it there? I love to see that it's being built, but why is it there? Crab's going to go in possibly for the kill. P-Gen's going down. We see a FAF point in the middle of crabs here from Team 2. Satellites really want that comm. He's dropped into the yellow, but he has nano. Another crab is down. Another crab is down. 2 crabs down, essentially right on top of one another. That's a lot of reclaim for Team 1 to scoop up. I should say Excited at this point. And those crabs really want that comm. They're just going to go for the kill, but they don't get it. There's also Team 1 PD down there as well. There's still another crab inbound, but 3 crabs and a FAF point. Sorry, 4 crabs killed off for Team 2. Devastating amount of damage. Tons of gunships in the air. We see some ASFs fighting over top, trying to take care of those. And the satellites are still going after the comm. With that second disruptor soon to be online, Team 2 has another host of problems to deal with. That crab has survived 5 crabs engaging with it. Or at least nearby it. Missiles are inbound. They're trying to go after that commander, take out the shields. Most of the shield strength is down, but more shields pop online to save it. Another volley inbound. I do love this coordinated fire with missiles and satellites, though. It's essentially trying to blitz down the shield as much as possible, but there's just so many shields replacing one another that it doesn't really matter if a shield is knocked offline because another one replaces it, and it's perfectly fine. 5 satellites over top. Another volley of missiles is inbound. And where are these missiles going? Possibly that, yep, they're going after the... Oh, are they going to get it? The shields almost come offline. I feel like at this point they should just target the other satellite, the other artillery piece and call it a day there. How much mass is on the field? Well, 290,000 mass. Over here to the east, Strat Bomber's going after the satellites. The main shield is knocked offline, but you can see again that nice little insulation coming in very handy and protecting that group of strats. Sorry, not strats, the satellites. One satellite is knocked offline though, so they did have 6, but they now have 5. Another satellite's going to be built, but only one shield though. Needs to build more shielding here shortly. That's not going to be a good day. Another satellite overhead. Still missiles trying to strike at that target, and I feel like the satellites are just trying to go after the wrong thing at this point. You see, look at all these shields down here and all the engineers assisting them all the time. At this point, just target the one that's a little bit weaker on build power and be done with it. Satellites came in from the northwest. Yeah, actually they came in from over here. So 2 satellites online. I thought I saw a third one somewhere, but I could be mistaken. Maybe it's underneath here. I don't see it. It's probably staring at me in the face, and I probably just don't notice it. Yeah, just don't notice it. Another missile volley inbound. Looks like it's going to hit a little bit lower, though, and go for the crab. Doesn't take out the crab, just because the crab is a little bit taller than the missiles can strike. Another crab coming online, though, for Team 2, Sailor Moon. Team 2 and Team 1 sitting at roughly the same amount of mass income. Satellites overhead, trying to take out the satellite from Team 2 that was just built. And engineers hurriedly trying to just keep the shield online. Of course, this one is being rebuilt. The mass was really depleted from that wreck. The frontline position for Sailor Moon has collapsed. This crab is going to become just a nice little paperweight for Team 2 to scoop up. There's no real support inbound from Glum besides just a FAF boy being built. In terms of T3 support, I mean, he has a lot of support from the air. He's really going after this position. I just don't think it's going to work long term, just because of the fact that there's been so many shields built, and a lot of them are being assisted in some degree or another. Engineers scooping up. That looks like a Strat Bomber, yeah. But that gets put back into the war chest for Team 1. Satellite has been knocked offline, and reclaim efforts are underway. Stratum says Glum. I mean, that is a strategy. Another satellite going to be taken offline. And another satellite about to be taken offline. T2 shields trying to be built. Build power cut in a third. Or by a third, I should say. But that little grouping of shields is not going to last underneath 2 artillery emplacements. And now Team 1's just going to scoop up all this mass and turn it into something beautiful, most likely. In the north, what's going on? Satellite, 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 satellite. And that is one way to do it. Just build a line of shields and call it a day. We see powers being built over here. Nothing really going on over there. Reclaim effort actually not going on as much as I would think. So much mass right on the doorstep of Team 1. They just are focused on so many other things. He's probably burning... Well, he's starting to spend it all, but he was burning mass, I think, for a little bit. Look at that, 71... Was that 71,000 mass in his bar? Yeah, that was 70,000 mass in his bar. Wow. That's a lot of mass to just have available to you. Microloids being built. Fat Boys being built. Again, we have satellites replacing dead satellites. Parashields coming in to try to parashield that Novak Center. Nuke has been built, and shield's going to be built immediately to protect it. Strat Bombers are stacking up. 45 minutes on the clock here. I mean, that is an avenue. I don't see a lot of AA besides... I mean, there's some over here. At least there was at one point. Looks like there's a lot of TMD just to protect all the mass fabs and T3 mixes. But with 2 artillery pieces online, counter strats are now being built. Oh, please tell me the lasers are going to take out the strat bombers. That'd be funny, but no, a satellite falls out of the sky, which means another station has been knocked offline. Yep, there goes that one. This one was about to be rebuilt. That one's going to be taken offline. So Team 2 had at most 6 satellites online, and now they're dropped down to 3, which might be enough to pierce the shielding. There's one more T3 they have to chew through. There's actually a couple of E-storages down there, which will be very useful for taking out. There goes the SMD. Is there a backup one somewhere? There is one over here. It could be edge nuked quite easily. You can put it right about there, and you would probably, actually, you would clip the comm if you put it there. You wouldn't get that other disruptor, but you'd get that one at a minimum. And I'm assuming a new one's going to be built here shortly. Nuke here, says Carl. Yep, right about there. Well, nah, it's a little bit too far over. We have to go a little bit further to the east. Oh, shield's coming offline at a not great time here for Team 2. Strat bombers coming in for Sailor Moon's commander. They take out an SMD as well, which maybe they were going for the comm. That's probably what they were going for. And the comm just kind of hanging out. He's like, I'm going to move now. That's not a good place for me to hide. How is this nuke going? We have nuke. Not yet, but it's almost loaded. Satellites attacking satellites. Shields protecting satellites. It's just a satellite affair going on over there. Counter artillery online for Team 2, though. Where is that coming from? Oh, it's right there. Look at that. Disruptor is now online. It is 1 artillery piece. It's not a lot, but again, it's something. It's better than the 0 that Team 2 had earlier. I think it's going to be just a little bit of constant damage. Do not tell me the satellite's going to go after this nonsense of an emplacement for shields. Ooh, the main shield. There goes the main shield. It's offline. The emitter is going to be taken offline. There it goes. And now these satellites are unprotected, and that is a dead group of satellites for Team 2, which makes me think they're going to go after the group. I mean, there's Fat Boys stacked up over here, but they're not doing anything. There are 2 crabs moving in from Team 1, but there are 3 of them, plus, of course, the 2 Fat Boys down there. There is a Fat Boy inbound from Team 1, and there goes that nuke. Is it over far enough is the question. It is. Excited goes, oh, that's not great, and decides to move. And he is going to be safe from that death from nuclear annihilation, but he's going to lose a chunk of his base in the process. He'll lose his Omni for sure. We'll see if that SMD actually is able to clip this nuke. No, it doesn't clip the nuke in time. First nuke of the game. It's going to do a lot of damage. Kaboom! Gets a ton of SACUs in the process as well. Look at that. Look at how many SACUs got taken out. That's half of the pressure relieved. We do see Excited being targeted by the strat bombers. Will he get taken out? No, he won't. The shield came in clutch and saved a ton of shots because it looked like multiple bombs landed at the shield at the same time, which really saved him there. But he's lost half of his attack power in the artillery department. The Team 1, of course, does still have that line of satellites. He has 6 of them so far, more being built all the time. That would have probably been a good nuke as well. SMD is there. Doesn't cover all of them, so you could probably put it right here and clip all but maybe that one. You'd get the majority of them. He actually has 7 online. Apologies. Looks like the artillery is trying to target the air grid. Does hit a PGen over there to the north. And satellite, of course, is being targeted by... Sorry, artillery being targeted by satellites. Parachutes coming in to assist the Fat Boys, and crabs are pushing into the east, ignoring the position over here. There's not, again, a lot of land units in general. There is a crab over here. There's still the crab wrecks to be scooped up, and all of the other units to be scooped up as well. Fat Boys are going to continue to just mount the pressure with their artillery, and missiles are outbound. A lot of defenses have been taken offline because of that nuke, but there are a nice little battery of tac snipe missile defenses over here. Those nice little zappers. Lots of engineers now on station, scooping up the mass. Looks like, are they just going to go for the TMD or the SACUs? They were trying to go for that SACU, it looks like, but that one moved out of range. So that one was almost just a wipeout there. He would have lost 11 mass per second. Team 1 and Team 2 producing roughly the same amount of mass, but Team 2 is starting to edge out a tiny bit. We have 7 satellites overhead, and that is not great for Glum's health. He does have shield on board, so he has 12,000 plus additional 19, so 31,000 hit points. But 7 satellites is a lot of power. We do see the crabs again run. We rarely see it, but a run by is happening with Fat Boys and crabs and Monkey Lords. Very rarely do we see it. We do see, of course, the Fat Boys starting to poke at all those Megalith hit points, and now we see a monkey. It's going to get a lot of value of taking out all these spearheads. Spearheads go, uh-oh, we went too close. We went too close to the fire, and now we're going to crash land. Strap bombers overhead targeting, looks like the Fat Boy. Ace have come in and wiped those out. The danger now for Team 2 is the comms could not necessarily be easily sniped by all of the satellites, but there is a potential for Team 2 to be wiped out by those 2 satellites, so they have to be very careful to keep their comms shielded heavily. No matter, losing power, that's not good for Team 2, especially with that going down. There goes the artillery piece. And losing the rest of that power, that's also not great. Looks like they are going to go after Glum. One Fat Boy did get taken out, but the other one survives. And look at this, 2 crabs. Well, I know what they're going for. They're going to actually hook left. And there is actually another disruptor up there as well. So Team 1 back up to 2 artillery pieces. But, yeah, I don't think those couple of Ravagers are going to be enough. I feel like distributing build orders would definitely be a little bit more potent at this point, especially with all the mass that he probably still has. There's 21,000 mass in his part. That definitely would work out. T1 PD trying to be hastily built. Strap bombers inbound. They are going to do a lot of damage on the monkey lord, but those 2 crabs, they're going to be the bulk of the tank in this engagement. And there's going to be some dead satellites for Team 1. So if you don't like satellites in this game, well, you get a nice little catharsis, nice little therapy going on with all these going down. 52 minutes on the clock here. That is a just devastating loss for Team 1. They still have 2 artillery pieces, but look at this cut right down the middle. Drop bombers trying to do what they can, but Team 1 didn't really have a lot of air power to begin with. They used a little bit in the very beginning, but not much. It's not shielded, says the Doctor. I mean, yeah, it's not shielded. The nuke, though. Oh, that was close. That you gotta just fire the nuke. Fire the nuke. Even if it gets shot down, it's better than having a nuke be loaded in the clip and not use it. 183,000 mass, though, with that nuke is a lot of damage with one nuke. It's probably one of the most damaging nukes I've seen. There goes the nuke. The SMD's taken out. It's going to take out the eco over here. It might clip the disruptor. I would have liked it probably a little bit further over to the west just to make sure you take out these mexes and you still take out the disruptor. Crab and the monkey still alive. This entire northern base is gone. Now they're attacking from the rear, which is not where those defenses are placed if we're excited. Crab is knocked offline with 3 monkey lords in behind it. Unfortunately, those mechs is going to be taken offline. I don't think it's going to clip that disruptor, though. Nope, there it goes. Kaboom! Takes out all the mechs, like I said, but I think that's a missed opportunity with that disruptor, especially because it was unprotected without a SMD. GG, says Carl. I don't think it's GG yet. We do see Cloaking on board. Excited's coming. He doesn't have the laser. We do see some SACU stacking up to try to defend against that monkey, but those Pigeon, not a great placement there for those SACUs. A lot of them died to a lot of that volatile explosion. Monkey lords are inbound. Another crab is inbound. Fat Boy from the south. We have 4 monkeys and 2 crabs inbound. Another disruptor is under its... Actually, it's underway. That monkey lord just needs to pierce the shields, take out a couple more Pigeons, and that might be the grid for Excited. What's his power? Oh, okay, never mind. 31,000. Just completely ignore what I just said. Shield grid to the max for Glum. And he's just going to build Fat Boys at this point. He's like, just spend mass. I need more shielding. Spend it. Well, he has a lot of mass to spend, to be fair. And that monkey lord's still alive. 254,000 mass killed. Oh, what's that nuke at now, I should say? 235, so about 50,000 mass kill with that second nuke. Looks like... Oh, shield comes online at the last second. Another shield comes online. Are these the same spearheads from the beginning? Maybe. The TMD trying to hold, but... Yeah, Glum's, I don't think so. Disruptor is taken offline. Liquid is taken out. Another crab over here targeting that SMD. I don't think he's going to get it. Oh, no, he has a lot of health left. He might get it. There he goes. The SMD is now offline. Nuke launches, and it's going for... Where is it going? It's going to the north. It's going after that artillery piece, which, like I said, should have been taken out with that other nuke. But anyway, there is an SMD loading. It's going to be close. There's a lot of engineers trying to load the thing. Explosion happens in the west, though. Another SSU, most likely. SMD going to be taken out here. Crab gets taken out. Is the nuke going to get shot down? Oh, just barely. No. Kaboom. There goes that one. That one is knocked offline. That is what, the third disruptor taken offline here from Team 1 side of things. What's that nuke at now? 350? Oh, 380. Yeah. So, again, average 3 nukes, 100 and almost 30,000 mass killed with each nuke. That's a really, really good set of nukes. Monkey Lord trying to push in to just take out the rest of these spearheads, but the damage has been primarily done. This base is gone. Kept a couple pigeons. This base is gone. So Excited's down below 750 mass per second. He's not producing what he once was. He's trying to rebuild his artillery pieces, but I don't think it's going to go any way that he wants. We have another disruptor online, though. That was the one that he was replacing from the one over there. It's still probably trying to strike that nuke, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Oh, okay. Well, I say that, but the shields are knocked offline. And is the artillery piece... No, it's going to be a little bit to the right. Looks like it's going after maybe the air grid. Well, the shields are on Glummer down, so that's not great. Takes out the SMD, though. Glum's power. How is his... Oh, he is not doing great on power. That shot, and of course he doesn't have shield as well because he doesn't have power. No, oh, a little bit to the east, though. A section of that shield is gone. Sailor Moon standing next door as well. Fatboy not having shielding is not great for Fatboy health. Looks like Glum fixes his power reserve. Oh, no, never mind. What's the eco situation looking like for the... Oh, my goodness, that's a lot. 600,000 mass in reclaim. Enough to build 3 game enders. That is a lot of mass on field. Monkeys, of course, not able to strike at the Fat Boys because that's starting to be a critical amount of Fat Boys at this point. 3 is very dangerous. You can see Monkey Lord just not able to compete. Of course, Spearheads don't help as well, but there is a little bit of reclaim in mid. Oh, there's a little bit, huh? Yes. I love how excited. He's still able to comment even though he's microing all of these other things going on. He's like, yes, I will just type very, very quickly. You can see that in the way that's not exactly typed out, but yeah, a little bit. That's definitely the understatement of this match so far. 600,000 mass. Another disruptor is coming online for him. Telemazer defense. Unfortunately, Team 2 doesn't have a Cybran commander to be able to actually do that. And, of course, that Maver wasn't going to go anywhere, so that never got built. Unfortunate, but, you know, it's just kind of how the game goes. Another nuke is outbound. There isn't an SMD here, but even if... Oh, I mean, even if he built one, maybe he would have time enough to load it. He might just accept his fate. That nuke is outbound. There is satellites overhead. Unfortunately, I don't think this match is really going to go his way at this point. Oh, hold on. Did the nuke get shot down? Where's the SMD? Did I just miss something? What? I'm confused. Did the SMD just get knocked offline? That's... Huh. Very strange, because I feel like... oh, maybe... oh, this one probably clipped it. That could have been it. Looks like Excited goes, nope, see ya, bye. That is the game here, folks. 1 hour, 30 minutes on the clock here. Team 2 wins the game. MVP awards go to both of the remaining players because they stuck through it thick and thin. But that nuke, though, that nuke for Team 2 Sailor Moon, man, that did a lot of the work. 381,000 mass killed with that thing. And that first nuke taking out 185,000, a huge chunk out of that grid. And then, of course, we saw 2 more nukes up here. I thought there'd be another nuke up here, but the Crab and Monkey Lord did that for it. But that was the game here for all these. Look at the nonsense. Look at that. That's just crazy with all the parashields. Team 2 wins the game here. If you're rooting for Team 2, you were right. If Team 1, you're rooting for Team 1, sorry they lost. Let me know down in the comments how you felt about the match overall and if your guess was right or wrong about who would win this game. It definitely looked like Team 1 had a decent advantage, especially with that eco going on. But, again, eco was not the only thing. And it just comes down to the fact that Team 2 really just turtled. They went, okay, we're UEF, we're going to turtle. That's what Excited did as well when all those crabs came in. I mean, if it wasn't for all the shields built, those crabs would have just steamrolled and killed off Excited and ended the game. I do like that strategy where there's one comm left. We have a lot of forces. Let's go for it. But Team 1 just had just enough defenders to be like, no. But that is going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And again, as always, I hope to see you in the next one. So actually, no, I don't hope to see you in the next one. I see you in the next one.